You stared right at your keys on the counter and still missed them. Maybe it was your phone, buried in a pile you'd already scanned twice. You know the feeling. Your eyes passed right over it, again and again. Your eyes were pointed right at it the whole time. Seeing something and your brain actually registering it are two separate events. That gap between seeing and noticing, what is your brain actually doing there? Your attention works like a spotlight, not a floodlight. It only has enough capacity to process one focused task at a time. Whatever falls outside that beam still hits your retina, still reaches your eyes, but it gets scanned at a shallow level, never truly registered by conscious awareness. Your brain quietly decides what deserves deep processing, moment by moment, without asking you first. The object was there. Your conscious mind simply never opened the file. In 1999, researchers Daniel Simons and Christopher Chabris ran a now-famous experiment. Viewers watched a short video and were told to count basketball passes between players wearing white shirts. Partway through, a person in a gorilla costume walked directly through the middle of the frame. About half the viewers never saw it at all, even when asked directly afterward. This wasn't about bad eyesight or careless viewers. Eye-tracking versions of this study confirmed something striking. Their eyes physically pointed at the gorilla just as often as viewers who did notice it. Looking and seeing had already split apart before the video even ended. Their attention was simply spent elsewhere, and the brain filed the rest as irrelevant noise. The same gap shows up constantly outside a lab. It's why eyewitnesses can miss details investigators later find obvious and swear honestly that they weren't there. A driver focused on merging traffic can look directly at a stop sign in good lighting. At close range, they still might not register it at all. It isn't a lapse in honesty, effort, or care. It's the same spotlight, simply aimed somewhere else in that exact second. The sign was never hidden. Their attention was. Research suggests this effect isn't random or evenly distributed. It tends to get stronger when the missed object closely resembles whatever you're already focused on. It gets noticeably weaker when that object stands out sharply from your current task. Task difficulty seems to matter too. A harder counting task tends to produce more misses. Individual attention spans also vary from person to person, so this doesn't unfold identically for everyone. This isn't a claim that people miss everything unusual happening around them. It's that this kind of filtering happens far more often than most people ever expect. Here's the part most people never account for. Surveys on this exact topic show most of us rate our own observation skills as above average. That's well before ever taking the test. But inattentional blindness doesn't ask permission first, and it never announces itself in the moment. If you'd been among the half who missed the gorilla, you likely wouldn't have known it. Not unless someone else pointed it out to you afterward. The blind spot hides itself by design. This is a genuinely useful way to think about your own blind spots. Something can feel obvious in hindsight. A missed exit, a misplaced phone, a face in a crowd. The failure usually wasn't your eyesight. It was your attention, fully spent somewhere else the entire time. That small shift in framing changes how fair you are to yourself afterward. It also explains why simply telling someone to pay more attention rarely fixes anything. Attention was never the thing missing. Your eyes were never really the problem. Attention is a limited resource. Something is always left just outside its reach, no matter how carefully you think you're looking. What you missed today was never invisible in any real sense. Your focus simply hadn't opened that door yet. And most of the time, it never will.